You're live.
Well, good morning. It's 10:30 on Friday, which means story time. It reads from our Gumtree bookstore. Since we're still closed, the Gumtree bookstore, I'm reading to you from my office in downtown Tupelo. But welcome back, and welcome for those of you who come for the first time. And if this is somebody that's watching after 10:30 Friday, but on our Facebook Live archives, it reads, hope you're having a good day too. We noticed a couple of weeks ago that there are actually a lot of people watching on Sunday afternoons for some reason, rerunning it and using it for reading. So we've got a lot of things I wanted to talk about today, and then we've got some great books. I'm holding this magnolia, which of course is the state tree and the state flower, because this is Arbor Day, which is a great day for us to remember Earth Day. Having just been earlier this week, we really believe it reads in sustaining our earth and taking care of it and being good stewards. And I'd sent my children a tree to be planted in the National Forest in their honor for Earth Day. And Arbor Day is a great day to remember. This is a good time, you know, when we do have some time to get outside and walk and observe Mother Nature. It's a nice, this does give us, that's one of the silver linings of this virus. It gives us a chance to be out in nature some. So I hope you get a chance to take some walks and to enjoy the woods or just the trees in your neighborhood. This is also the first day of Ramadan, which is the holiest day in the Islamic tradition. And I don't know how many of you or your parents have been reading our thoughts of the day in the Daily Journal every day since we were closed, but I thought this was a beautiful thought from the Islamic tradition that I was going to read today. It says, "Oh God, let us be reflections of your light, participants in your peace, and protectors of each other." And we're certainly trying to do that in whatever way we're doing it. We're protecting each other by staying home and observing the distance and wearing our masks when we need to. I've got my mask that I wear down here at the store when we go out. Some, and maybe some of you have your masks too, but looking for reflections of your light, participants in your peace, and protectors of each other. So that's my thought for today. Some of our thoughts for today are pretty humorous. A friend of mine earlier today told me his favorite one so far was Bill Murray's, who said, "I'm not saying I'm Batman, but no one has ever seen Batman and I in the room together," which is pretty funny, I thought. Also, we've got some other news that reads before we get started. And I've just, again, brought the Daily Journal to help me as an aid. But for the first time today, we are now open for curbside pickup at Barnes Crossing. And we started for curbside pickup or free delivery at our downtown store on Tuesday. So we are gradually, slowly, safely getting back to work. Our staff wears gloves and masks to deliver these to your car at curbside service, whether it's Reed's Downtown, for children's, women's, men's shoes, gifts or books. And now, starting today, we also have curbside delivery at our Barnes Crossing store. And you just contact us by calling us at either of our store numbers. At Barnes Crossing, it's 842-5287. or emailing us at info@reedsms.com, and for downtown, it's 842-6453, and then emailing us. Then you can also go on Instagram or Facebook and find us. And we are also, we've got, this is a lovely Mother's Day present that somebody ordered yesterday from us from our gift shop, that they're going to pick up today curbside at Reed's Downtown. So I thought that was a beautiful package, and of course we always gift wrap free. So if you're thinking about Mother's Day, we would love to help you with that as we gradually get back into business after being out for 6 weeks. We also advertise in the paper today 4 Ronaldo bracelets for Mother's Day or graduation or just a birthday or something. And then we are also, thankfully, getting some cards and requests for graduation gift certificates or the Reed's gift card, which these graduates can add together, put together, and really have a nice sum of money, even if you put 10, 15, 25 $50 together. You put several of them together, they can really use them to get some things for college when they go into college. So gift certificates, Mother's Day, graduation, whatever we can help you with, we would love to do it. All right, let's get to some books. We're going to start out today with a sweet little book called I Love You Like a Pig. I don't know if you know this book, but it's really cute. Then if you're home and you've got some siblings, which are brothers or sisters around, I thought this book might be good. Grow Up David. It's basically about a little boy named David who just doesn't mean to cause trouble, but he just can't help it. And in this book, he just can't resist bugging his big brother. I don't know if any of y'all are having little opportunities for bumping into each other too much at home, but I thought this might be appropriate for that. And then in honor of Arbor Day, we're going to read The Lorax by Dr. Seuss, and if we have time, The Gruffalo, which is one of the great children's books that I think we would enjoy if we get to that too. So, and then someone asked about the giving tree, and I don't know if we'll have time for that or not today, but if we do, we'll get to that. All right, so let's start with I Love You Like a Pig, words by Mac Barnett and pictures by Greg Pizzoli. I love you like a pig. And there's a little boy giving his pig a birthday present, a birthday cake. And what do they all say to each other in different colors? Oink, 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 oink. That's how they're wishing him a happy birthday as they're dividing the cake. He says, I'm happy like a monster. And then, I'm lucky like a window. Why is that window lucky? Well, because it's got a piece of pie cooling in it. You can see them eating some pie together. I'm smiling like a tuna. A tuna is a kind of fish. You might have tuna fish sometimes, although hopefully it's not this tuna. He's happy swimming in the ocean. Maybe we'll all be back getting a chance to go to the ocean or the lakes sometime this summer. I hope we will. Because I love you like a pig. And there they are enjoying a bath together. I bet there are lots of Mama's Days that are giving lots of baths over the last 6 weeks. And yeah, they're talking to each other again. Oink, 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 oink. Just how pigs communicate. You're funny like a fossil. You know what a fossil is? A fossil is something that's been petrified, that lived a long, long time ago, but has been saved in the earth, and now you can see what the bones of the animal looked like thousands of years ago. You're sweet like a banker. Good morning, how sweet. And that banker is passing a sucker. And this gives me a chance to give a shout out and a thank you to all the bankers that helped and worked so hard for people to get these small business association loans. If some people in your family or your businesses were fortunate enough to be included in that loan program, that was really great. And this happens to be the birthday of my nephew Paul Mize, who is a banker. So Paul, happy birthday to you, and that's nice. You're sweet like a banker. You're crazy like raspberries. You like raspberries or strawberries or blueberries? We read a book last week about all the razzmatazz berries. And I love you like a pig. Looks like they're doing a little home karaoke there, doesn't it? Their record player. And now they're talking again. Oink, 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 oink. So, pigs communicate. I like you like a tree. Look at all the things that can be done from a tree. You can hang a tire from it to make a swing, or you got a swing set. Got a little place to, maybe a tree house up there. Enjoy playing in a tree or a tree house or a swing set. And on Arbor Day, it's nice to celebrate trees. I like you like a rowboat. And there they're on a, looks like a nighttime trip, doesn't it? See the moon up there in the sky? I had a friend of mine named Rick Mann when we were at summer camp that his favorite sport was rowing. Every day he would go sign up to get in a rowboat. He would go out on the lake, and then I think he would just lay down in the bottom of it and wait till the hour was over and then row back in. That's when we were little boys, about 11 years old. And I always admired his creativity on how to get out of having too active a morning at camp by rowing out to the middle of the lake. I need to call him. He lives in Washington, D.C. now. Some of you may have friends that live in other parts of the country or even parts of the world. Last week we had someone from Barcelona, Spain, said they were watching Storytime from Barcelona. So, hola, buenos dias to you in Barcelona. I like you like bread and milk. Drinking a lot of milk and eating cereal. I think I've gone through now 3 boxes of cereal since the quarantine. But I love you like a pig. Oink, 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 oink. They love him just the way he is, and that's just the way your parents and grandparents and uncles and aunts and friends love you, just like you are, just exactly like you are. If you're a pig, a pig. If you're a boy, a boy. If you're a girl, a girl. They love you just like you are. All right, I love you like a pig. Now, the next book is called Grow Up David by David Shannon. And on the back is a sign that says, "Keep out, this means you, David," which I'm guessing his brother probably wrote on the front door of his room or closet or something. I know if you've got more than one child in the household, no matter what ages they are, they're bound to be getting in each other's way some. And I know when I talk to some of these mothers and they're on the phone or something, or Zoom or FaceTime, and then about every 45 seconds or so they're yelling, "Stop that, no, over here, stop, I'll be there in a minute." You know, they're trying to be their traffic cops at their house. So Grow Up David by David Shannon. I wonder if the author had these things said to him when he was a little boy. I wonder if that's how this book happened. In this book, David can't do everything his big brother can, but he can get away with things his older brother can't. So he'll always be the little brother, but let's see what happens. David's big brother always said, "No, David. No, David. Stop it. You're too little." Yes, there David wants to play football with his big brother and his friend. They say, "No, you're too little. Stop following me." His big brother's up in the treehouse. David wants to come up, but what's he told? "No, stop following me." Here he's putting pencils in his mouth, and his big brother, who's trying to do his homework, says, "Grow up, David. Grow up, David." He's just trying to get some attention, isn't he? Then David ties his big brother's shoelaces together. And so what does his big brother say? "Grow up, David," which means quit doing stupid things like this to me. Then, and don't do this at home, David apparently filled the toilet with toilet paper and whatever else he could find to stop up the toilet. And his brother says, "David did it." I think David's just trying hard to get somebody to pay attention to him. Then he got into his brother's Halloween candy that he had been saving, and his big brother says, "That's mine." You all say that around your house to when somebody else has something of yours. "That's mine, leave it alone," whether it's candy or dolls or shoes or whatever. Now his big brother's finally gotten tired of him, so he's fighting with him, and he's got him pinned down on the floor, and he says, "Go ahead, call Mom." It's not very nice. Now David has stolen a picture of his big brother's girlfriend, and he's running away with it, and his brother is yelling, "Give it back, David." And then his big brother catches him and trips him, and he says, "Have a nice trip," which is pretty mean. So David is now running, and it looks like he spilled his milkshake. I would really hate, I love milkshakes. Do you like milkshakes? I would hate to have somebody trip me and I'd lose my milkshake. And then he says, "Make me." What do you think David's saying to him? But his big brother's just holding him off there. David's getting madder. And then the big brother yells, "He hit me first," which is always the way that brothers and sisters seem to call out when their parents get on to them. "He hit me first." "Thanks a lot, David." Well, they both got put in timeout. Parents decided it was a mutual fight, so they've got the big brother over here in timeout and David over here in timeout after they've torn up the house. Probably not for the first time today. And then his big brother says, "Want to play?" David obviously is excited about that. He can't believe it, really. "Yeah, I'd love to play." But then David, it looks like he's caught the ball. He's still holding on to it, but he's knocked down to the ground, and now he's hurt. So what do you think his brother's going to do? Is he going to make fun of him? But he says no. He says, "David, are you okay?" He's actually worried about him, isn't he? He really does love him. And he says, "Nice catch, David." Wow. So after all that fighting and all that telling him to get away, David catches the ball, he gets hurt, and his big brother brags on him and kind of tussles his hair and says, "Nice catch, David." That's about the best thing a little brother can hear when his big brother includes him and then brags on him for doing something special. So if you have any fusses at your house, just remember everybody else does too, but it's nice his big brother finally was nice to him. My father used to say that the firstborn child really has a lot more to do with peace in the household among the children than anybody else. It's up to the firstborn boy or girl to lead the way on that. So just remind you firstborns that you can make a lot of difference in that. All right, got about 10 minutes left. I think that's enough time certainly to read The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. Ginger, how are you? I haven't spoken to you this morning. Happy Arbor Day to you, and hope you and your family are well. And we've got our little bulldog who we haven't named yet that's wearing his mask, which is good to see. I know one thing we haven't done yet. We haven't yet clapped for all of the first responders, all of the doctors and nurses that are working so hard in our hospitals and our clinics, and for our firemen and policemen and our first responders and all the people that are working in the stores that have to be open to take care of us. So join me and let's start our clapping today for everybody that's not at home but that's helping us have a safe day and a good day. And now if you're with somebody, if you're watching with somebody, why don't you just, and you're not observing the 6 feet distance because you're in the same family, maybe you can just pat on the head the people you're by and say, I love you, thank you for helping me, thank you for helping me. All right, okay, the Lorax. Dr. Seuss, of course, is the most famous children's book writer probably. And this book was first published in 1971 when I was 20 years old. So that is 48 years ago. It was really was a call by Dr. Seuss to the industry and consumers alike to conserve the Earth's precious and finite natural resources. And it really resonates today, particularly on Earth Day week and on Arbor Day. So I hope you'll enjoy the message that this book sends, and it will plant a seed of your children that we all need to take care and shape our future, which it is. It's up to us. The future is up to us. The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, the old Onceler still lives here. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler, don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of miff-muffed moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. I don't know if you can read it, but that says the Onceler. That's where he lives. So let's see what story he's going to tell. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents in the nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. So you got to have a little money, a nail, and a particular snail. So there's the little boy passing up his pay. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snub, strange hole in his grumbless glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Well, there's the Lorax taking his pay and hiding it. Slump. Down slumps the whisper my phone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a synergically hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Bzzz. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. So you see he's got his phone coming down so the little boy can just hear him. Way back in the days, look, see how green and pretty everything is? And colorful? Wow. Way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean and the song of the swomy swans rang out in space, one morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. Aren't they beautiful? Look at all those beautiful trees. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the rippleless pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. So there are the brown barbaloots, and there are the humming fish over there in the water. It looks like all nature is just happy and bright and good. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. There's the Onceler wagon. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a theed. So there he is, chopping down the first truffula tree right there. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I'd chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. There he is, popped up from the stump of the... Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed, what's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft? I'm asking, what is that thing? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed finds something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats. Lorax said, sir, you're crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool thneed. But the very next minute I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along and he thought that the thneed I had knitted was great, and he happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy, you never can tell what some people will buy. There's the man who bought the thneed. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts and I said, listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Niche. Take a left at Weehawken. Sharp right at South Stitch. So he's calling his family. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds just as busy as bees to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. And there they all are, bringing in the more trees to chop down. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. Look, now they've got a big saw, don't they, that's chopping 4 trees down at a time instead of just one. They're getting rid of them pretty quickly. But the next week he knocked on my new office door He snapped, "I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to cut as fast as you please, but I'm also in charge of the brown Barbaloots, who played in the shade in their Barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffle fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle fruit to go round, and my poor Barbaloots are all getting the crummies because of gas and no food in their tummies." There they are. So it wasn't just the trees that were hurting after he chopped them down, was it? The Barbaloots, their whole life was in trouble too. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. "Good luck, boys," he cried as he sent them away. I, the onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business, and business must grow regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. So there they all go, leaving the territory. I meant no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads with the needs I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs. I biggered my money, which everyone needs. He's got a whole operation now. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. "I am the Lorax," he coughed, and he whiffed, and he sneezed, and he snuffled, and he snarled and sniffed. "Onceler," he cried with a cruffless croak, "Onceler, you're making such smuggless smoke. My poor swami swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat." And they're the swans who can't sing. "And so," said the Lorax, "please pardon my cough, they cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you've smogged up around here." There go the swans. So the trees have mostly been chopped, and the Barbaloots have walked away, and now the swans are flying away. "Once more," snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, "let me say a few words about gluppity-glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making gluppity-glup, also schloppity-schlop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old onceler man, you." There's all the glue. "You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary." So there go the fish, because they can't hum anymore. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, "Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffalo trees into needs, which everyone needs." So the fact that they're all leaving hasn't bothered him, has it? At that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffalo tree of them all. Last tree. There it goes. No more trees, no more needs. No more work to be done, so in no time my uncles and aunts and everyone all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. Now all that was left neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. So I had to close the factory because there were no more trees. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad, sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. See? There he goes. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. But that was long, long ago. But each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away through the years while my buildings have fallen apart. I've worried about it with all of my heart. See that? That says unless. That's the one word he left. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. So he's telling the little boy, this is to him, so this is to you. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He let something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. There it is. See, he's thrown down the last truffula tree seed. What do you think they can do with that? It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds, and truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula. Treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest. Protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. The end. So, that story is a great story for Arbor Day. It just means we need to keep planting trees and take care of our earth, and we can do that, and it'll be a great place for you and for me. And during this time of the virus, all together, it's a good time to read books like this and get excited about things like that. So I hope you all have a safe week. It's just a little past 11 o'clock, but we'll be back next week. Also, this Saturday morning, check Reed's Bennett. What time is the magic show?
10:30.
10:30? At 10:30 Saturday morning, we've got a special Reed's Facebook Live. We've got a magic show for you by magician Bentley Burns. So 10:30 tomorrow morning, tune in for our magic show, and we will see you next Friday at story time. So take care of each other, be kind, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.